Hey guys, what's going on? It's Uncle Tone. How you guys doing? Welcome to vacation vlog day number 31. How you guys doing? It's bike day here at Tone's house. Rob dropped off my bike parts so I can get Alice put back together again and get her out and ready to go for a rip. Cool beans. We got our brakes in, finally. Finally got brakes. There you go. There is a cable actuated disc brake caliper. It works kind of like this. You can see the sintered metallic disc brake pads in there, just like on, say, a motorcycle brake, just smaller. These are BB7s. Manufacturing date still stamped on it. These have independent pad adjustment. These red knobs on the side, on each side, are pad adjusters. You can turn them to adjust the pads so that they don't constantly rub. And these just use standard brake cables. They're not hydraulic, which is one of the things that made me want to go back to them. I don't like hydraulic disc brakes. I'm tired of messing around with them and all that kind of stuff. And we got some brake cable housing and some brake cables, so I can cut those to fit. And we also got our new grips. I went with the Ergon grips again. I had kind of had these before. I had the giant branded versions that came on the bike before. This is the left-handed grip, actually. This is the right-handed one. I went with the Ergon GP2 grips. They're a little pricey. They were 30 bucks. But as you can see, they're ergonomic and fit your hand like this, particularly for people like me who suffer from carpal tunnel. The idea is that you rest your hand primarily on your pad of your hand here, and it takes the pressure off in between your hand, the pad of your hand and your thumb pad there, which lets the blood flow run through easier and prevents your fingers from going numb and so on and so forth. I got the ones with the little bar ends on the end, just because it gives you alternate places to put your hands, kind of like this while you're riding. You can move your hands around to help keep your fingers from going numb. Those are pretty cool, so we're going to go ahead and throw those on the bike. These are also bolt-on grips. I love bolt-on grips. I remember back in the day having to put grips on using hairspray or compressed air or any one of a bunch of other ways we used to use to install grips on bikes. At the shop, when I worked at the bike shop, we used compressed air. At home, I would use hairspray or anything else I could think of to kind of stick them on. These new bolt-on grips are amazing. All you got to do is slide them on, and they're relatively snug already. Tighten up the bolt underneath that's right there that I showed you guys before, and that's it. You're done. They're installed. Super simple, super easy, super awesome. So there you go. We're going to go ahead and start getting to work here and get Alice put back together again. Alright, cool beans. So we got the levers and grips mounted. I'll show you guys that in a second. The next step is to mount this caliper to the wheel. We're just going to slip it over the disc there. Put the rotor in between the pads and then slide it up here to where the mounting holes go and bolt it on. Like so. Do 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 do. And that's the front one. Now we just do the back one. The caliper itself is not tightened up yet. We're going to leave that loose until we get some cables run, and then we will tighten that up and adjust the brake. Alright, next thing we're going to do is get some cables mounted here. We got the calipers mounted front and rear, and now we're going to go ahead and get some cables run here. I am a huge advocate, particularly for disc brakes, of running full-length housings from the front lever all the way to the caliper at the back. The longer the housing can create more drag, yes, but it also keeps the cables cleaner. It allows for less dirt to get in them. So there you go. I'm a huge advocate of full-length cable housings. Even if you have cable stops and you're running housing for brakes, I recommend just not using the stops, run full-length housing, and zip tie the cable to the frame because it just works way better. So we're going to leave this loose here for now. We're going to tighten these bolts up on a down tube later. I hate this cable routing system that Giant put on this bike. It's actually bolt-on, which is really, really stupid. I just prefer some stops that I can zip tie it to, like my other bike has. This one they're bolted on, which I think is the stupidest cable mounting system ever made, but it's what Giant decided to do. I don't know why. Whoever's in charge of this over at Giant should be slapped in the head though. So you're going to go ahead, mount the back one to the caliper, run your full length housing right to the front of the bike, and then you're going to cut it once you get there. Cool, so we got the cable housing mounted to these stops along the frame. I'm out of zip ties, actually. There's a couple stops here, but I am out of zip ties. So I just use some twist ties to mount it temporarily until I get out to the store the next time. And then I will buy some more zip ties and we'll replace those with zip ties. So we have it mounted, run all the way to the caliper, up the down tube, and then around here to the brake lever. Now, when you're mounting it, when you're cutting it, getting ready to mount it to the brake lever, you're going to want to leave a good amount of cable before you cut it, because you don't want it. Sometimes when you turn the handlebars, this is difficult to do with one hand, by the way. When you turn the handlebars, you want to make sure that you leave enough cable housing so that it doesn't compress the housing at any point. Am I zooming in? I might be. No. Okay, cool. So you want to make sure you leave a good amount of housing, kind of like so. It's this one right here that I'm wiggling right here. You want to make sure that you leave enough so that you're not compressing the housing at any point. So that looks pretty good. So then you're going to go ahead and cut that there using a good quality set of bicycle cable cutters. You don't want to use regular crimping cable cutters. What these do is squeeze it all the way around rather than just in one spot, because there is actually metal inside the housing and you don't want to crimp it together, otherwise you'll end up pinching the cable and causing metal to scrape on metal. So you don't want to do that. You want to use a good quality cable cutter. Alright, so once you do that, you're going to attach a ferrule to the end of your cable housing, feed the cable into it in the lever, and then once you get it in the lever, through the cable all the way down to the other end of the bike where it comes poking out at the caliper. Then you can go ahead and mount the center of the caliper. The next step is to center the caliper over the rotor and then go ahead and attach the cable and adjust the brake. Alright, cool beans, we're all set. It was a little bit of an awkward spot to get into to tighten that bolt, but I just positioned the cable where I wanted it, slid it forward a little bit, got it tight, and then slipped it back again. So we're all set, and we're all set up. Doesn't really rub too much, or really at all, once I turn it on, or use the brake lever to activate the brake. So then just go ahead, and you can go ahead and cut the end of the cable. Leave about, 1.5 inches or so. Don't want to cut it too short. And then go ahead, cut that, like so, using a good pair of cable cutters. As you can see, when you use a good pair of cable cutters, you get a nice clean cut like that doesn't fray the end of the cable. Then you can go ahead, put one of these end caps on that come with most cables when you buy them, and crimp that. Using your cable cutters again, you can go ahead and crimp that, and then that'll keep the cable from fraying while it's on the bike. And then you're done. Go ahead and do the front one. We're all done. The front brake is all done. And the back brake is all done. As you can see, there's no rub whatsoever. You can't hear a thing, which is fantastic. I also readjusted the back brake, and there's no rub there whatsoever either, which is phenomenal. You have no idea how excited I am about this. To have brakes that don't rub is like the most exciting thing ever for me. I've been living with brakes that go for so long. To have brakes that finally don't rub is amazing. The only thing left to do is to take it outside, take it for a test spin, make any little adjustments to the grips and bars and stuff that we need to make. Alright, cool beans, I think we got it pretty much dialed in. Got the bars set about right, the brake lever angle is set about right. Feels pretty good. These bars look a little funky. I kind of like them. I think they look kind of cool, and they feel awesome because they give me extra hand positions. I can slide my hand over here. You know, it gives me some extra hand positions, room to move my hands around. Feels pretty good, so there you go. And the brakes don't rub at all, which is fantastic. I absolutely love that. As you can see, they're cable actuated. The cable moves and applies the disc onto the rotor. The best part about that is you can individually adjust the pads with those red knobs on the side, as I showed you guys earlier, and get them to rub or run with no rub whatsoever. Feels pretty good. So there you go. Stop at Scotty's. We're gonna bug Scotty for a minute, show him it's all set up. Got him! I dragged him off the couch. He was watching TV. Lazy bum.
Yeah.
Dragged him off the couch. He was watching TV.
Yeah.
Lazy bum. He likes it. He thinks it looks pretty badass. So there you go. I like it. It feels awesome, man.
Like it?
It feels 5 kilometers an hour faster.
Oh, it looks 5, 10.
I've been riding around on a single speed
What the hell is
with crappy brakes all winter. There you go. Now you got it. It's child-proof, eh?
Yeah.
It's a child-proof iPad.
Yeah.
So that means you can't work it. Only children can.
That's right, yeah.
Because only children can use the child-proof things, right?
You need her.
Fiora knew how to use my iPhone when she was 4. Yeah. Feels pretty good. I even tore the rear derailleur apart and cleaned it all up. Got all the gunk out of it. We're ready to rip now, man. No excuses anymore.
Oh, shit.
I don't have any excuses now.
That looks good. This didn't come with it. This is your old seat.
No. It says Giant right on it.
Yeah, I know. It's your old seat, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
My old seat was a Wilderness Trail Bike seat. WTB.
Oh.
It was black and gray, but it had titanium rails. It was on the road bike. I sold it on the road bike.
Yeah.
I still have the black and red one on my other bike. But I don't mind that one. That one's fine. I haven't gone on rides any longer than about 2 hours with it, but it feels
How
fine.
does the seat get so worn?
Me sitting on it? My shorts rubbing on it constantly? It doesn't take long for this stuff to wear off. I don't know. It's why I'm not sure why they make printed seats, because it doesn't take long for that stuff to rub off at all, actually. But
It can't be much of a protective. Is that leather?
no, it's fake leather.
Did you put anything on it to keep it private?
It's fake leather. It's not even real leather. It's only a $1,000 bike when I bought it. Actually, list was $1,150 plus tax. I bought it for $1,000 cash. So, you know, yeah. Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's really nice to have brakes that don't rub, I'll tell you. I'm out of zip ties, though.
How long is that going to last?
I don't know. Depends how well I look after it this year.
How long do those last?
The brakes?
Yeah.
The awesome thing about those brakes is I don't intend to ride this during the winter. Okay, I'm still going to stick with the other bike and have a winter bike. So as long as they're not exposed to a lot of salt and sand, they won't corrode. So, and the awesome thing about these is they're not hydraulic. Okay, they're cable. So worst comes to worst, all you have to do is buy new cable, throw a new cable on it.
Yeah.
New pads once in a while.
I forgot that.
You know, new brake pads once in a while. And they should last a long time. And you can adjust the pads on each side. See the little red dial there?
Yeah.
That's a pad adjuster. You can turn that in and out to adjust the pad so the pads don't rub on the rotors all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I wanted them, because I'm so sick of my brakes rubbing all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I hate noise.
Freaking drive you nuts. So you're riding along, a nice ride, and all you can hear is
You know something's wearing out. That drives you crazy.
constantly, you know? Gotta turn the music up on my phone louder so I can't hear it, you know? There you go. Cool beans, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed Bike Day with Tone.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow. Rock on.